And the guest host can introduce himself because I'm a lazy
That
bastard.
was a terrible introduction, Nick. How are you gonna just take it off yourself and put it on the guest host?
He's my brother, that's why.
That's fair.
Very. No, my name is Wolfman. I'm actually a huge fan of horror movies, especially B horror movies. So I can't wait to get this started.
So we should mention that today we're doing Jeepers Creepers from 2001. Many of you have seen it. I hope you haven't seen. Well, part 2 is okay, but I hope you haven't seen part 3.
I'll say part 2 is okay. I'd never seen part 3 though, and I refused to because after what Nick was telling me about it, I was actually really disappointed in hearing about it because I was hoping when they did 3, I was actually hoping they do like more of a backstory, like where he came from, what was his origin, because no one knows where this dude came from.
Yeah, I think everybody wants to know more about the Creeper, and each movie continues to disappoint in giving us any kind of background info. The director, Victor Saliva, is it?
Salva.
I just call him Saliva because it sounds more like a child molester. So.
I mean, that kind of sounds more like a porn star, but go with it.
I knew nothing about him when I first saw the first movie, but then online you read about there's all these protests against him. Some people dislike the movie simply because he's the director.
Because when you support that kind of movie, and I understand, I'm an artist myself, not as a movie artist, but I'm an animator. I do draw cartoonish things. But if I had a really bad backstory when it comes to situations like that, anytime you watch something like that or support that type of movie, you're also supporting that person's wallet to be able to do things like that. That's how I see it when you see things in a perspective like that. This dude's he got caught, and now because of that, luckily now that he sold his rights, he actually won't get any of that.
Oh, good.
Money now. So
Yeah, but another thing people don't is that's one person. Man, you go see this movie, you got how many people that you're actually supporting? Because you got Jonathan Breck as the Creeper himself,
Right.
who does an amazing job even in part 3. But
Right.
Well, movies are different. What Nick is saying is right, because let's say there's an actor like Kevin Spacey, right? You don't want to support his movies, but there was maybe 300 people involved, and money goes to their families, feeds them and stuff. So it's different. Like if it's like R. Kelly, who in his music he's actually talking about the things he's doing, then it's hard to separate that. But for a movie, I'm cool separated because it's a big production. One thing I got to tell you guys, I don't know if you've heard this before, but I was researching the movie, and the whole opening sequence, which we'll get into, is actually based on an episode of Unsolved Mysteries. So, in the episode, it's on YouTube. If you search Jeepers Creepers Unsolved Mysteries, a little 10-minute segment on YouTube, basically. And it had an old couple that...
Had a bunch of cats?
No. Had a weird truck pass them by on the highway. And then they later passed a house where they saw the truck and they saw someone putting a body down the well or whatever. And they then followed the truck down the road, followed it, called the police, everything. So it's pretty spot on, to the point of even the couple in the Unsolved Mystery episode, they're doing the game where they're guessing the license plate. Literally, that was pretty much confirmation that this whole thing was stolen from that.
Believe it or not, a lot of directors actually do that. They take inspiration from something that actually has happened, and they see this, that's actually a good setup for a beginning or a middle or even an ending of a horror movie.
True.
So actually, you can say plagiarism. And I actually do somewhat agree, but at the same time,
the only thing I think plagiarism is literally using the exact same, in the episode they're doing the license plate game pretty much.
Yeah,
I would have left that part out because then it's like, whoa, you got more than inspiration. You're actually taking what they were saying.
You're taking at that point you're taking the whole thing.
But you would not be getting the famous license plate of "Be Eating You,"
which was brilliant. So we do got to keep that.
I would say, yeah. To be fair, I mean. It's
sounds like inside joke territory.
Like chicken nuggets.
But
favorite food.
and the whole time, when I first watched that movie though, even I was thinking it just kept saying "beating you." I didn't think of "be eating you" until a few years later.
I don't think they actually say it until part 3 anyway. Because part 2, the truck doesn't even make an appearance.
Let's just start there. How the hell did he get those plates? What's the process to get plates, and could the Creeper have done that?
He most likely made it himself. He did. One of his layers is a factory.
On top of that, too, the dude literally lives in bumfuck nowhere in the South, so who knows? I'm pretty sure nobody asked questions.
I mean, I'm
He
thinking
doesn't
about
even have tags on this damn vehicle.
I'm thinking about does he provide his own gas for his vehicle? I'm thinking about all the logistics of like
That's
takes
where
us-
the blood from the enemies, from the victims come
I mean,
from.
I was gonna say souls, but I guess we can go with blood.
I mean, the creeper only needs meat. Take the blood out, and then it's easier to taxidermy the bodies.
You know, to be.
you sound like you know way too much about this, buddy. So
You got some questions?
Just don't go to my actual house.
Oh, what?
damn. All right, so what do we think about this opening? Like, I'm a sucker for.
Where was the stop sign?
It's true. Where was the stop sign? Watching that whole thing as they're driving down, I did not see one stop sign. That was the stop sign. Where? Even I'm saying, like, where was the stop sign? I even rewinded it, like, I don't see no stop sign. What?
And there was no turnoffs.
There was no.
It was just straight road.
The only time I saw someone turn is that RV that passed that they're trying to name the license plate. I think "Gay Forever" and
Yeah,
then
it was Sexy Forever.
Maybe they've been driving so long that she's like getting like mirages and visions and stuff. So,
Delusional as fuck.
but I'm a sucker for like road movies like this sort of. You're on like a long empty road. It's like a creepy setting, like a country road
Oh yeah.
where there's nothing in sight.
Yeah,
Joyride.
kind of like a Wrong Turn, one of them, or
Joyride.
Joyride. The Hills Have Eyes.
It's just a fun setting for like horror situations.
It is.
Always.
Definitely a way to get your cast away from a whole crowd of people.
True. And
Yes.
they look like they're on the most isolated, empty, creepiest road in America, from what I can see.
Yeah,
They're
somewhere
probably in Utah.
It looks like I-95.
Utah. No. I've been to Utah. That I want to say that looks more like deep south, freaking
Georgia.
Texas or Tennessee.
I'll say Tennessee.
I'm thinking, do they ever say like where they're going? I know they're going to their parents' house, but where their parents live?
No, I think that's the one thing they didn't say where exactly they are. I mean, you can tell it's the South because you can tell from the tone of the accent, the way they're talking, the fact of how humid it is, because how Derry is, how he's sweating.
Yeah.
So obviously it's in a humid state.
And I'm guessing the AC doesn't work in this car.
Well, technically it's not his car, but yeah.
Yeah, so they've taken Trish's vehicle, which is what is that car? That looks like a damn
Piece of shit.
No.
like an
no.
old.
That's an old classic Chevy there, buddy. That's
Yeah.
I want to say that.
She didn't keep good care of it.
No, she did not. But I want to say that was probably like that was originally a family car, and I want to say it was in mid '60s, maybe late '50s.
And it's definitely not a fast car. That's pretty well established.
no,
It's a slow car.
If it was in a muscle car, they might have had a chance. But no, that was just a regular broken down stick shift.
So they pass by an old couple in like a RV camper, right?
Yeah.
By saying "Sexy Forever."
Which they who gets it? Derry gets it or Trish gets it? One of them gets
Neither of
it.
them got
Trish
it.
got it.
Trish got
Trish
it.
is the one who said "Sexy Forever." Derry kept screaming "Gay Forever, Gay Fever."
Yeah, that's true. But I want to say neither of them got it. They're just some old couple, and I don't know. I want to say neither of them got that one at all.
So, question for you guys. So, as they're talking in the background, you see the camper in the background. The camper goes off the road, and then you see the creeper's car come in the background. Did the old people know that the creepers come behind? They just randomly got off the road at the exact moment the creepers started coming up. Did you guys notice that?
I did notice that. I actually
I was like, did they have some kind of knowledge about what was about to happen or something?
Who knows actually? Because it does raise a question like how long have this town for 23 years, knowing that these two counties, mind you, has probably been having to deal with this thing of people just going missing after 23 years.
Yeah.
It sounds like at this point in the movie, it's an urban legend. It seems like most of the town doesn't believe it. They know people have gone missing.
Mm-hmm.
There's the stories about, like, I guess the prom couple, whatever, that went missing.
Yep.
But yeah, the old people get off randomly, and the creeper.
Some driveway.
Yeah, and then the creeper slowly starts to come into view. He doesn't follow the old people, but
No, he goes straight.
He
Starts
goes-
honking and hollering and ramming
Well, he
Yeah.
didn't start ramming
until
until
they
like,
saw him dump the bodies down the tunnel.
Yeah. So it's yeah, but it is good question though. Like they just.
I always wondered, did they just get lucky? Because if they stay on the road, does the creeper drive past them onto Darian Trish, or does he do his little "I'm trying to figure out if I want anything from these people" thing? So I don't know, but they got lucky anyways. They went off to some kind of Denny's down the road, had a nice omelet, and lived their life. So
Yeah.
more power to them.
Yeah, that lumberjack meal.
Oh yeah, all right. But unfortunately for Derry and Trish, I guess not unfortunately, that nothing has forced their hand yet. They do drive past the Creeper's little house.
That old church.
Where
church,
you see
yes.
him throwing bodies down a tunnel. It was like,
Maybe it's a body. I mean, it's
Like,
a sheet with blood. It could have been
it's just-
a deer.
At that point, it's just like,
I mean,
oh, that's neat. Keep going.
if he's a hunter, for example, that could have been some kind of animal just draped in a sheet with blood, right?
Yeah, but as a person who's hunted, why would you want to throw it down a well?
Yeah, that looks,
Maybe the easiest place to his furnace.
that's pretty
No.
suspect.
No.
Maybe there's like maybe
Maybe that's where his kitchen.
maybe
is.
it's a big iced refrigerator down there, so all the bodies just go straight into like an ice.
You know
thing.
what? You're on to something.
or
You're onto something.
that's where his kitchen is.
No. Again, no. I like Vic's idea more.
Well, I'm just thinking, Derry and Trish, they jumped to the conclusion pretty quick that is a body going down there.
No, Derry jumped to it. Trish didn't give two shits until
Yeah, so they
I want to say, well, she didn't until she actually started looking, and are like, what are they doing? Like every white person does in
Yeah.
movies.
now, unfortunately, that is true. Once they stop and think about it, now Derry's coming up with the, hey,
we just go back. What if they're hurt?
what if it was you? Well, that's what, and Trish being smart is like, no, I'm the big sister.
Well,
I know better. No,
She was somewhat smart. If she was actually smart, she'd be like, okay, I'll drive you there. Derry gets in the passenger, and she just goes.
But this is my point. This is why it's smart to have this as a brother sister, because if this was a girlfriend boyfriend, I do think that she would have like maybe left him or done something different. Because it's her brother, she feels more attached. She has to go with whatever he wants to do.
No?
I think. I mean,
I agree, but we also got to remember these are white people.
Would you have gone down the tunnel?
No, I would just kept driving, mind my own business. Like I didn't see nothing, sir. No, I'm going.
Hey.
Going. Bye.
No,
I'm,
actually,
Yeah.
that's
I'm
when
gonna go.
That's when the cop stops you. Why were you going 90 and a 30 zone?
I ain't going 94. I was going 130. Thank you.
I mean, look, this movie's not very meta, but she does say, "Hey, this is smart people don't do this." Basically,
Honestly, she was actually the only smart person in there, and
but
again,
he
you
gets
were
her.
right.
He gets her with the imagine if it was you. What
at
if
that
what if
point-
you were down there? And she's like, ah, shit.
If I was down there, I'm dead. Move on.
So
That's when she should have went, but it's not me, so let's get the fuck going.
right.
so let's keep track. This is strike one for Derry. Is hey, let's go back and investigate. She makes the point. Hey, we can just go down the road and call the police. Yes, you're doing your job as a citizen, as a rightful citizen, by going and calling the police. You've done good.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's all you gotta do.
This is what stupid people do to get everyone killed.
But Derry says, I'm just going to take a look. All right, Derry, let's see what you do. You just said, I'm going to just
Right.
take a quick look.
Right.
And then he's like, hey, hold my feet.
Hold my feet. Okay, you find this big tunnel, right? Which it does look like it's just going down to darkness.
Right.
But he's like, no, you can clearly see the bottom. He's like,
oh, hold my feet, or give me a flashlight.
yeah.
Like,
Now-
dude.
now,
You saw
now you're doing too much, Derry.
Yeah. Now you saw the tunnel. You
And
see.
also, do you really expect this small woman to be able to hold you? I know you're a pretty small guy yourself, but
Now, to his bad luck, a bunch of rats come up the pipe.
and then he starts kicking.
But he's like, he's rats. Like, what do you think? Like, he's really hurting himself in this movie. I don't understand. He's like, rats.
then-
Like, she's fine, but he starts shaking and like,
And then
nah.
he gets mad at her for letting him go. It's like, why'd you kick?
Facts. Why did you kill? Like you were the one that were screaming rats and freaking out.
But the problem is, she didn't say that. She goes, well, they were coming at my face. It's like, did y'all forget what y'all just filmed?
Right?
No, clearly she dropped him because his feet were kicking like he was like
right.
Yeah.
being
Like a-
attacked
like a
by the
newborn
rats.
baby.
Yeah.
But
So Derry's stuck in the basement.
yeah,
That's
well,
fine.
yeah, he fell down, which that had to hurt, man.
He fell right on his back.
right on his back.
He must have that Dewey back. So.
Yeah.
Dude, I tell you what though, that dude would have to get a tetanus shot for sure, cutting his hand like that.
No, he doesn't need one.
I don't think he's gonna.
No,
I don't think he's gonna be around for that doctor's appointment.
No.
I don't want to spoil that. I'm not sure if Derry's gonna make that
It's
physical.
2001. I'm sure everyone knows the ending by now.
No.
So all right, so he's down there. He tells Trish to go to the road to get some help because he finds bodies.
Well, at first he didn't see the entire Sistine
Yeah, he just
Chapel
sees the
murder.
one.
He sees the one because it moved.
Which where is the second body?
It was right there. It was
I only
right
saw
next
the
to it.
one.
Well, I think it was right there, but it was mainly focused on the one that was moving.
Yeah.
He later claims that there's like, when he's talking to the cop, he later claims that there's like 500 bodies down there.
Which
Over exaggeration.
That was a huge exaggeration.
without doubt, but to be fair, it's like
He is traumatized.
If you are traumatized.
Well, we never see like the whole thing is bodies.
Yeah,
the
because
way he sees
we're
it.
only seeing a portion. We don't even know really how big.
Or if there's
that
any
whole
bodies
thing
in the
could be.
cathedral itself.
Yeah,
But it must be something. He does come up pretty traumatized. He looks like he's down for the count.
I will say one neat little symbolism that was done here is the murder of crows all over the place. Because
That was-
crow being the bird of death.
yeah, and I did like the whole mystery part. You know, when during the drive, right? They're on the radio. They're talking about the two couple, the prom couple that got killed. And
Yes.
the head was the only one that they found. The body was missing, and obviously he recovered the head to sew it back on, because in a way he's a twisted artist.
Well, have you also noticed one other thing about all these bodies? They don't look like bodies. They look like mannequins.
Oh, it's a low budget movie, so.
And, I'm pretty sure they can hire a bunch of people. It's like, hey, how'd you feel like to be petrified for a while?
They only have to hang for a little bit.
A little bit, man.
So we learned that the creeper can sew together a great pair of pajamas. He's probably a wonderful seamstress.
You know what? I've always wanted to try a skin type pajamas.
He looks like someone.
Okay.
He looks like someone who wears necro
I don't need to
pants.
hear about your fetishes per se.
The creeper does look like someone who wears necro pants.
Yeah, of course. He just gets off on skin, so I mean, Jesus. This is almost. This movie was almost a porn, but
Yeah.
they went in a different direction at the last second. So
Well, now I gotta go eat this guy just so that way I can jerk off for a minute. No.
So
I thought it was a good little false scare when the car comes by that she thinks is the creeper's car, but it's just like a random bus or something, a random
Right.
truck. That was a pretty
But,
good false scare.
yeah,
was,
except for the fact that had we been in her position and be able to see that that's not the same front
Well,
end of the truck.
I want to say I'm pretty
True.
sure because it was getting closer. You should have been already realized by the time it probably got at least maybe I want to say 10 to 15 yards. You would notice that is not the truck.
Right.
And and plus the truck also has the original truck has way louder noise than what that thing was pulling.
Oh yeah. So at the diner, they see the creeper's van going back to the church,
Yep.
and they're completely worried that the creeper's going to find out they were there.
How?
Yeah. Did they leave something behind that we didn't see?
Unless they left their wallet, I can't see where the creeper would put it together. But
Honestly,
I don't know. Should they? This might be strike two, but should they have stopped at the diner?
Well, they did.
They did
need
need gas.
gas.
Ah.
That was technically the whole point when they stopped there is that they needed gas at first.
But they stay at the diner for hours.
Yeah, talking to the cops, but
with the idea in their mind saying we're afraid that he may go back and find out. I don't know, man. It's
well, to be fair on that one though, he did open one of the body bags. Derry did open one of the body bags.
Which the guy was somehow still alive, so it could be left to reason that he was able to get himself free.
yeah, but
But you would be able to know that someone else.
but does the creeper have FBI forensics where he's dusting the prints and be like, Derry?
Well, he does have a
Derry
strong sense
Jenkins.
of fear nose.
does have it's fear knows he could smell. This dude's literally an animal.
Okay, we have to decide, when does the creeper decide to target them? Was it when he was actually driving behind them earlier and he got the smell, or is it something to do with him finding out that they were at his place?
Probably when they were at his place.
I personally believe
He put
it's
it together, then the smells.
When, I want to say I want to personally believe that it was when he was causing them fear the first go round because he got a reaction out of them. They were afraid.
So it's fair. It's interesting because he drives past them. He goes back to his house to dispose of the bodies. He comes after them again, but the second time it's because he thinks they saw him.
Yeah.
But so do you think that, okay, if they didn't go back to check on the body, if they just kept driving, do you think the creeper still ends up coming after them, or are they just home scotch free though? Because it seemed like at that point they were just home free
To
basically.
be honest, I think it'd be home free. The
Yeah.
creeper,
Yeah, I don't think the creeper was-
want to stay in this small area.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't want to seem to go far at all.
I feel like at that time, if he would have wanted them, he would have just took them. He had plenty of opportunities there.
Oh yeah,
So I don't
especially
know.
out there in the open. But he did get a reaction out of that, and he got more of a reaction when he really scared the crap because he was ramming these guys now. At this
So he goes back to his church. Someone's broken in. And he's like, "That smells like the people I just went on the road." And now he's like, I should actually get them. Yeah. I was. It smelled good earlier, but now it smells great.
right? I do need a new pair of eyes.
Yeah, those last two eyes are starting to wear thin. So
Yeah.
Just so it's not thrown out there, just all willy nilly, should mention Derry gets a call from a psychic. Okay, done.
all right. So this is where for me at least, what we've seen so far in the movie, this is like an amazing first half an hour. I'm like, oh, this is great. This is
Yeah.
suspenseful.
Nice,
This is
good- yeah.
mysterious. This is beautiful.
Stupid characters.
This psychic, well, yeah, but
Stupid moves. I want to say
stupid moves,
From
but
one person, I will admit, from actually just one person.
it's Derry. Derry's pushing all the negative stuff. Like I said, the sister, she can't leave her little brother the way she could, like, say, a boyfriend. So
Yeah,
she has to go along with his thing. But this psychic is the first thing where it's like, ooh, this is always bad writing when a psychic pops up. it's always, it's
That's
never,
the only way we get to learn anything about our villain.
it's contrived because it's always like, okay, you're going to give us like backstory or exposition from a psychic who, how the hell, I mean,
Which wasn't
what?
really even a backstory. It was more of just her like, hey, did you see the cats yet?
By the way, as a psychic, yeah, she's talking there on the phone. She's like the most dumbest way possible delivering information, just saying random things. You're seeing the cats?
Yeah.
How the hell, like, why don't you just say, I'm a psychic, I've seen you in my dreams?
Okay, but to be fair, like if someone were to come up to you like that, would you believe that? Because I'd be thinking
that-
it's just nuts.
To be honest, with how many
Like-
horror movies I've seen, as long as they're not asking for money, probably.
You got a point.
maybe not that. Maybe find a way better, but the way she presented it
Yeah.
was just like,
You-
they were like, F you, and hung up the phone on her.
Well, at least Trish for sure. But once Derry started hearing what she was saying about the cathedral and all that, he was like, okay, whoa.
And
right?
also, her things are her visions are too far ahead.
Yeah.
She should have been like, "Did you see him dumping the body in the well?" And he'd have been like, "Yeah, well, you're talking about the cats. He hasn't seen the cats yet."
Exactly. Like
She
the first thing was
think
the
about
cats.
this. She knows they're at the diner, so she knows
Yeah,
the
when they see the
past.
cats, yeah.
Because how would she know to call them at the
So
diner?
the real question I got is, I understand warning them, but why didn't she just leave like an anonymous tip to the cops to have the cops go investigate it before the creeper even had the inkling that they would have? Because then the creeper may not have had the time.
I
to
got the
burn
answer for that. It's
church.
because she knows these cops are useless.
Well, every
Yeah.
cop in horror movies are useless, and
But
these are worse. Than
These are
most.
worse.
Yeah, these were a lot worse. At first, I'm pretty, because obviously the cops aren't believing Derry's story
Well,
when he's trying to explain to them, be like, oh yeah, well,
I-
even though you could clearly tell this kid is traumatized.
And at this point, I don't know. Actually, to be fair, I don't know what she could tell them to save them at this point. Have you seen the cats? Like, I mean,
yeah, you kind of
what can she tell them to save them though?
Yeah, because now you
Get in your car and drive away. I don't know. Like,
Yes.
Exactly.
Maybe.
You would think though, but Derry's probably that dumb. Even he wouldn't do it.
That's why Trish drives.
Yeah, I would think Derry, he reacts on the phone like he shouldn't be as skeptical. He's seen the bodies. He should be like just open to anything. He's like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? F you. Like, what?
No, that was Trish.
No, Derry hangs up the phone though. He's like, she says something. He's like, fuck you, and he hangs the phone on her.
Yeah, that's at the very ending. But I think I've been more annoyed at Trish though because she's been trying. She tries to grab up on the dude trying to listen. Like, can you just piss off for like a few minutes?
I will let you know what's going on.
I
Yeah.
think the funniest one though is when he's trying to drag over the phone and it just cuts him off right then and there. Like, yeah, dude, it's not portable. Sorry.
For me, writing wise, I just didn't like that. They're saying basically, oh, he's going back, and Derry says, I'm worried that he's gonna know we're there, and they have a time jump then where it shows they're at the diner for like 3-4 hours. It gets dark outside. They're still at the diner. I'm like, would you stay in this one location for like that long if you know someone's maybe after you? It's just I don't
no,
like that.
not at
I would
all.
have driven away because then these two cops wouldn't have died.
Like, why are they waiting there? They can talk to the cop on the phone, can't they? Just like, I don't know.
Well, that's true.
The cop's coming to interview them or something, but it's like,
I guess they're old fashioned. Maybe I don't know. It is like I said, it is a southern town somewhere in the middle of nowhere, obviously. So
I must have had good apple pie there or something. There was I gotta keep having more pie.
I mean, you can't go wrong with a good American pie. But again, yeah, it's the way she presented it though. The psychic presented it was the wrong way. I feel like you knew that they're at the diner, so you obviously should know that they obviously have not seen the cats yet.
Yeah, she's being cryptic and being like, she's like making a puzzle for them to figure out. Like, figure out this puzzle. Like, just tell them the most direct way possible.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, the dude from the church is coming after you. Just say that.
Yeah.
Like, maybe that makes them get in their car and drive away.
Yeah, but instead,
Except they want to have that pot first.
but instead, then we wouldn't get these 2 cops dying.
Yeah.
It's a sad fate for them. So
Yeah, but see, I always had that question because he always bases his what he wants from someone through their fear, right?
Mm-hmm.
yep.
How did he get that from the cops? Because at first they have no idea what the heck was going on, like at all.
Can he sense internal fear? Like maybe the cops haven't said something, but inside they're like, "Ooh, this is very mysterious" or something. He can sense the fear on the inside, right? So they're not showing fear, but maybe the cops like, I believe this kid. Something's going on.
Well, to be honest
Maybe.
with you, when the woman gets pulled out, the guy definitely is probably thinking, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
And then the hand just reaches down and grabs and pulls him out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's some good amount of fear right there.
True. I mean, it could be just amount of shock, like what the hell's going on, like what, and then that's probably when he.
But you're right. The getting the fear process seems like you have to drive up on him. You have to like spend time. He had to like sniff Derry's pants and stuff, like
His underwear.
So
Freaky
Oh
bastard.
yeah,
it seems like there's a process to that
he's
fear
a panty
thing.
pincher.
He's one of the gnomes from South Park.
No, but the one thing I'm wondering,
Step one.
what I'm wondering is, why would you slam the brakes when you see a head just slam into your car?
Pure,
Okay, well, that's
pure
like,
shock. I
I would
mean,
say that's just pure shock.
yeah.
Like I can't say I wouldn't do that because I'm trying to figure out what the hell just landed.
The
on my
smartest thing
car.
is to keep driving, but if a head flies on your windshield, you're like, ah!
So-
I guess you
Instead-
just want to make sure if it's a head though, because you could be just delusional or that high, and you're thinking, "Man, I smoked way too much weed."
But to Nick's point, they stop the car and they get out the car to go investigate.
And why was
Yeah.
the creeper just sitting in the cop's car when he already knew what he was going to do to this cop?
Because the creeper's a
create
weird
fear.
He's a weird mofo. So.
But to create fear, the suspense creates the fear because now they're wondering what's going on. Derry's the one that's freaking out, while Trish is just like, "Hello," and my opinion, that's just a stupid white girl move. Like, obviously he's not answering. Obviously something's weird's going on. Get back in your car. Just keep driving.
And for once, Darius is a smart one. He says, Trish, get back in the car.
Exactly. For once, he's smart.
Well, this is where Trish starts doing stupid shit because then she pulls off into a random house, and even though we know this car has a hard time starting, boom.
We should mention that the creeper had a quick snack with the cop's head. So.
Oh yeah, but,
He did.
I
He had a
figured-
little buffet there, the
Yeah,
cop's
but I
head. So.
figured you'd want a little bit of time to get home.
I'm good till 12:15. I got time. So.
Yeah, he has a quick snack in the form of a fruit roll up.
Not my choice, but I mean, looks like he had fun.
Yeah,
so.
hey, to each his own.
Yeah, I prefer fruit by the foot in my opinion, but
But yeah, no, he I mean, to be fair, he probably needed a new tongue, so that way he can taste Derry's eyes. Just saying.
Actually, that does make sense.
well,
actually,
notice how he doesn't lick Derry, but he will lick Trish later.
let's talk about batshit crazy cat lady.
Oh yeah.
Oh, now we're at the cats.
Yeah. Now we're at the cats.
This lady is as creepy as a non-villain should
She
be.
started off just straight creepy. You didn't know it was a cat lady at all.
I was like, I wouldn't trust her either. Like,
What are you
doing here?
What are you doing on my property?
and they film her like in the shadows only. You don't see her face.
Yeah,
Like,
again, obviously in the South. What are you doing on my property?
what you need the phone for? You gonna call Domino's Pizza?
You're
I
damn
was
right.
thinking about it, but right now we need the cops.
Nah, actually, I kind of prefer Pizza Hut wings over Domino's.
Get off my lawn. We only do Domino's around
You
here.
got 10 seconds. Get the fuck off my yard.
Notice how that gun exploded that scarecrow.
That had to been one strong ass freaking shotgun. I tell you what. Like, she shot one shot.
And just boom, everything explodes.
Yeah, and then
Like either that gun has some power to it, or Victor does not know what guns can do.
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah. So they got there, and then they realized like, okay, Derry's starting to realize something isn't right. Meow. At all.
Because he asked her like, how many cats do you have?
Yeah.
Now
Yeah,
the psychic's
couple.
back in his head. He's like, ooh, cats. Putting together. Of course, the psychic again was way too early with her, or too late with her vision,
Right.
or early with her vision.
I guess that raises the question though, like, Does her visions come in parts and not in a certain rotation, or do they just come in patches and then she's got to try to find a way to put them together?
Well, a better movie would have explained that, but I don't think that's going to happen
No,
here.
I agree
so.
completely.
The psychic is just somewhere at home watching soap operas, and every
Yeah.
time like, oh, Derry sees cats. Ugh.
So I will say something about I will say something about this old lady's death. Double barrel shotgun. When did she have time to load the second shot? The third shot.
Yeah, no, yeah. That's a good question because she shot it. She shot the one when he was standing on the scarecrow.
Right.
Shot it again when she was inside, and then shot another shot. Like
Almost immediately after.
I would say simultaneously, like right after the second shot.
No,
How did you have
maybe
time to do that?
Maybe the creeper has amazing speed. He loaded the gun up himself and then shot her and then shoved the gun right in her.
Well, he did. The gun was nowhere near her. She didn't have a gun. I mean, obviously he was wounded, but she didn't have a gun on him near her at all. He just chucked her like she was a rag doll. Be like, you know what?
Well, I think he stabbed her with the gun and then threw her.
No, not at all. He was carrying her through on her neck, by her
Ooh,
neck,
yeah, that's true.
and just like she was nothing too. That basically to show how powerful.
Can we agree that Derry and Trish got this poor woman killed?
Yeah.
She was minding her own business,
And
living
Trish.
living alone,
Yeah, because
chilling.
she did ask, like, what the hell did you guys bring on my yard? And then knees Derry in the nuts with her shotgun.
Yep.
And again, this was Trish's decision in this case to stop at this house because Derry's like, she's like, you said to stop. He's like, no, I said slow down.
Yeah,
Keep
exactly.
driving.
Again, the number 2 smart decision that he said.
And then
So what we're surmising is that he's getting smarter as things progress, and Trish is getting dumber as things progress. Unfortunately,
pretty much. But
Alright,
then
well.
Trish does something kind of smart because obviously she's noticing the creeper's not getting hit by this car. He's just jumping over. So she makes him think that's not working. He starts walking. He's like, oh, too late to jump over now, bitch. Even though he was clearly still jumping distance away.
They run over him like 5 times.
Yeah.
I would have kept running him over after I saw that wing.
Yeah, so at this point, though, they're thinking probably that this is still a man, a human being, sort of. So, and the audience is even like, oh, maybe this is a man. This is going to be our first hint that the creeper's supernatural.
Yeah.
Hey, I like
Oh,
that
yeah,
show.
that's a good segue into... I know there's something you want to mention.
I'll mention when we actually see her face.
I can't believe I teed you up for it like that either. Yeah, but you run over him like 5 times and nothing. He's down for the count, but he's going to get up.
And then his wings shows up.
Can I actually admit that I feel like they kind of over exaggerated when they finally hit him with a car of how high he actually flew up.
Yeah, what the hell? He got some hang time, man.
He did.
He went, oh! Like, he was having fun up there, man.
He was up there for a good minute. His weapons drop, and then all of a sudden he just bang.
So now we are finally at the police station where a lot of stupid shit happens at this climax.
This is like the worst cops ever.
Oh, without doubt.
Not just the cops, but the main characters as well, including the psychic.
Well, the psychic decides to show up in person.
Yep.
But
and for those who watch
she's still being cryptic.
And those who have ever watched Supernatural knows she's the psychic from Supernatural.
That's true. She is. She is.
I think she plays in 4 episodes before she dies.
I actually want to say 2. I thought she was only in 2 episodes.
You know, in past episodes, I've gotten a little bit upset when a supernatural actor shows up in the movie I'm watching because it happens so often. But now I'm numb to it. I don't care. Not going to react.
So he's
I've made my peace with the Supernatural TV show. Went so long that every movie, almost 90% of them, is going to feature some supernatural
Friday the
actor.
13th, 2009. Your reaction to that is probably my favorite.
Oh, yeah, because
Sam's in it.
Oh, kidding me? He had venom coming out of his mouth.
Because it was like the 6th podcast in a row or something like that.
It's like, you want to name what fucking show he's from?
I was like, how did this guy get the main role? What the hell, man?
Because everyone wanted to see Sam fight Jason,
Yeah,
but we were
by
all
the way,
waiting for Dean.
I was laughing because, yeah, he's building up like Sam versus Jason. Like, nobody knows Sam. Like, this is not Freddy versus Jason versus Sam. Like, get the hell out of here.
The only thing important to me is that the Jared who played Dean, actually Jensen
Jensen played Dean.
Jensen played Dean. He played Red Hood and Under the Red Hood. That's the only important part for me. And Batman too, actually, in Long Halloween.
And he played in the My Bloody Valentine remake.
Yeah, we're talking about that.
And that was one of the worst remakes.
I will give you that one.
I'll give you the Friday 13 remake was pretty good.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, no, they're in the police station, and yeah, you're right. The cops are just straight up dumb.
Well, the dumbest thing I noticed, and this is saying something, after the one kid gets killed, they all look up, sees nothing, unloads every fucking bullet they have.
yeah,
I'm like,
Well, another thing is how the cops react when they just see this one dude literally getting torn apart in a jail cell,
mhm.
and the dude in the jails are not making a sound or anything. I'm pretty sure they would be making a sound, and be like, "Hey, we got some weird going on over here."
yeah.
You know, and it doesn't even look like that big of a precinct either.
No, it's a small town.
Yeah,
As for the stupid shit the main characters do, there's a door. You can clearly see the door behind them. The door
Yeah.
leads outside. It's the front door. Come on, I'm going to get you out of here. Walks away.
Yeah, but the problem is,
You walked away from an open door.
first of all, the psychic didn't really help them at all. She's still just
The
basically
psychic got him killed.
the psychic is like pushing them towards their death at this point.
yeah.
Because they don't know if to believe her or not. They're trying to get her to like give more information. She's just like crying, like I don't know, blah, blah, blah. But at one of the problems in the movie, I feel like now as we're talking about, is the creeper's like he's too unstoppable. Now that I think about it, there's nothing they could have done in the police station to get out.
No.
You run out in the open, the mofo can fly. Like
Yeah.
it's set up to, all the cops can shoot at him, doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
It's
they,
like
they literally unloaded like a whole arsenal on the guy.
yeah.
Is it really on the guy? Because he wasn't up there when they shot.
No, that's true. You're right, but
They
later
unloaded
on,
a whole arsenal on their ceiling.
yeah, that's
Well, okay, with competent cops, maybe you buy another 10 minutes of time of living, but the
don't get paid enough for this. Just shoot at it. I don't care if it's not out there or not.
yeah, it's like if you trace it back, it seems like once they went back to that church, because getting out of the town was like going to be the only way to escape this. Basically,
Yeah.
once you're in the town,
You're fucked.
Yeah, because it doesn't want to seem to leave the area, the two, because it's
well, and by the way, we should mention the psychic gives a little information about every 23 years.
yeah,
Every 23rd spring, it comes back to eat for 23 days. Is there a significance to the number 23? That I'm not
because
realizing?
it's like that in it as well. Like every 23 years it came out.
Yeah, so
I thought it was just a random thing they threw in there.
Hell, Jim Carrey's movie 20.
It's why all the movies though keep having to like they all have to take place in this 23-day period, right? So it's like you have one starts where the next one left off pretty much because they're trying to fit it all into this like
because you find out in the previous movie that they're on the very last couple of days for this thing.
yeah.
Even on this movie, they're in the very last home stretch for this thing. It's like, what, 2-3 days before it goes into hibernation?
Yeah, you're right actually, because
Part 2 takes place on the very last night.
Yeah, part 2 takes place on the last night, but who knows how long?
And part 3 takes place before part 2.
Yeah,
And
so
part 1.
Okay, so yeah, so it goes part 3, then part 1, then part 2.
No, it goes 1, 3, and 2.
yeah, 1, 3, and 2.
Because Derry had just been taken, and all the cops that were in the precinct had just impounded the truck.
Okay. No, but 2's after 1, we're saying, right?
2 is after 1. 1 is
Right.
before 3.
Okay.
3 is literally dead center.
This is sad, but this is too much math before 12 o'clock in the morning.
We're gonna scare
Yeah.
away all the
Yeah, but they basically they don't want to do the 23-year time jump, so they're trying to keep everything within this 23 days. But yeah, you can't go forward if this is like the last couple of days. So.
which makes sense, unless they want to try to pull like an It thing and then wait 23 years later.
The good thing is, if your character and you survive this, there's no excuse to be attacked in 23 years. You should know you can time out. Okay, in 23 years from now, I'm not going to be around.
Yeah,
so
I'm staying away from this specific area.
I'm leaving the country in 23 years for this 23 days, so you can time
Just
it out.
save
at
up
least.
enough. You should have enough PTO saved up for the whole
Yeah.
month.
Yeah.
But like I said, he seems to be only fixated on just this one town, but not knowing how long he's actually been around. Obviously, he's been around for quite a while. Obviously, he didn't stick in that specific area for a very long time.
Well, what's kind of crazy is that,
Maybe he changes his hunting grounds every 23rd of spring.
think about this, though. He had set up that church with all those bodies, and he pretty freely burns down the whole church with all of his bodies that he had stored up and stuff.
Well, that's
All of
because he
his-
did have the
That's
factory.
that's like his life's work. He just burned down.
Well, he did have a factory.
He did have the factory, but all his bodies were stored, which he had sewed the head and done all this work. Like, He was just like, I don't want to, and it's weird. He's like, I don't want to get discovered by the cops or something. He just burned all the evidence.
Dude, the dude's basically unstoppable. Who cares if he gets discovered at this point?
Yeah,
To be
all
honest,
his actions,
even-
like, why does he have a truck even?
Yeah,
like,
even the cops knows about him, and it's even in the second movie, or I guess in the second movie, obviously they don't do anything to go after him.
So what I'm just wondering, I know is in the second movie when he goes into hibernation, why didn't anyone decide to burn the body? That
Well,
may have ended it.
Well, the biggest question is, can you burn the body?
Well,
the dude
they
literally
haven't tried.
The dude literally got
I don't know.
shot. The dude literally got ran over, shot, stabbed. Probably everything you could probably think of at this
But
point.
if you take him to a crematorium and
yeah,
burn the body,
if you
because-
cremate him, that's gonna be hard for him to put together from ashes. It feels
Yeah.
like.
But again, will it even work?
that's why we still need to give it a try.
Yeah. Point
Well,
taken.
well, we should establish. Does he have superhuman strength? That I don't know.
Yes, he
Yes,
does.
he does.
Again, because remember, he picked up that old lady with
Okay.
just one hand.
Because I'm thinking, can you
And just threw
can
her
you
like she was
can you lock him up if he was locked up in a prison?
He broke through prison bars to get to an inmate.
To an inmate, and then
Fair.
on top of that too, he broke through the window that was behind him. That's
That
probably
was barred.
That
Yeah.
was barred. He broke through the double window, which are thick as hell.
Mm-hmm.
So the dude is pretty strong. He's very fast. I want to say
He's not impervious to pain. Like it seems
Yeah,
like
he can
he
still
gets
feel.
hurt, but then he just recovers at a certain point.
He's very good at ignoring it. Like he knows it's there. It hurts. It's obviously hurting him like hell. But it's not gonna stop him from getting to where he needs to go.
I think him being able to fly is too much. They should have because you notice I think in the sequels you see also when he runs he can run at top speed like the Flash almost.
Almost, yeah.
So just having him fly is like too much. Like, all right, we get it now. He's like basically like Superman. Like that. I think they made him way too unstoppable here.
So the
well,
creeper decides to take Derry instead of Trish.
Because he's already settled on, I want them eyes.
Yep,
Yeah.
he wants that eyes.
Nothing she says is going to convince him.
Well, they thought in the entire movie they thought they were after Trish originally,
That was mainly because
the psychic.
the psych is like, well, he's after Trish. Which, to be honest, I'm pretty sure that's a lie.
Probably, but then again, she probably didn't know herself. She's just a crazy old lady, as she
Yeah.
was saying in the movie.
I think if he wanted Trish, theoretically, he would have just taken them both. It wasn't like an and or like a choice.
Well-
he probably could have took them both
Well, the
if he wanted
problem
to.
is she started showing that she wasn't afraid of him at the end there. So it's like, well, I don't want you no more. You're not enticing. You're not tasty.
That's a good point. Derry was like showing fear the entire time, and she was showing strength. So maybe that was like he's like, well, that's not gonna be fun if she's.
Yeah, she's gonna put up a fight. I don't want to fight,
Right.
even though I can bend
and
you.
she even told him like, I'm stronger. He goes, well, fuck you.
Yeah. Why would I? No, this dude's like a chicken wing to me right now. Okay? He's struggling. And I like
Yeah.
to struggle. All right. I love a struggle.
I just don't want someone able to actually fight back.
Yeah. I just want him to take it.
The creeper was like,
There's a whole new meaning of the creeper.
the creeper was thinking about. He was like, I kind of want them.
You think Victor Salva saw himself as the creeper?
Oh God.
That's a good point though. We're talking about separating the art from the artist, but you got the creeper licking skulls and doing all
Licking
this.
skulls, licking windows. Like, oh yeah.
He didn't. Saliva didn't do himself any favors there by making the creeper such a creeper and calling him the creeper. What the hell, man?
like not just come to think about, like just think about this whole thing. I'm like, God, the signs were right there.
This is a biopic.
Yeah, it's starting to become a little bit of a biography, but in supernatural terms.
No, I was gonna say the creeper was thinking about it. He was like looking at Trish. He was like, I want them thighs, but then he was like,
want them
nah,
eyes.
I want them eyes a little more though. He's like, I could use them thighs, but no, I'm committed
She
eyes.
didn't. To be honest, she didn't really.
So the creeper flies off with Derry. Trish runs after him,
Which I don't know why.
Which, how did she get down there so fast?
Right, because they were upstairs. Did she just jump out the window? No, motherfucker! Get back here!
Damn, I'm just like, holy shit, she got some creeper in her too.
She maybe could have ran him down.
Yeets out the window.
If she committed to running, she made it. She
Yeah,
made caught up.
because obviously he breaks through, and then all of a sudden she's running out the front door. I'm like, he should be gone by now.
Right.
By the time it takes you to get down there.
Well, exactly, and on top of that, because it looks like they're at least on the third level, like
Right.
the second or third level of the freaking precinct.
Um,
That doesn't look like it's nowhere near the damn entrance.
at the very end, we get the psychic comes back and she's asking the psychic, "Are your visions ever wrong?" And
To be fair, she got asked that multiple times even
Yeah.
before then. Like, are your visions ever wrong? She never answered. Like, were they ever wrong?
If I was Trish, I would have told her, listen, can you make sure that next time you actually help the next people this happens to? Because
Just
you,
tell 'em
to be
go.
honest, you weren't very helpful to me and my brother, right?
Not at all. Not even the slightest.
Like, can you just get to the point next time
Yeah.
and stop mumbling and
get to the point? Tell us to leave town. We'll fill up on gas, and we'll be happy to do so.
yeah, because I'm getting the creeper gets like 50% of the blame here, but at least 20% goes to the damn psychic.
At least 20. I want to say maybe roughly 30. I want to say 70-30.
She's accountable.
She's accountable.
If I was Derry's parents, I'm bringing a lawsuit against the psychic.
Well, the psychic and the precinct. You didn't protect my boy.
So
we
then
get we get the very dark ending though. There's no the good guys don't win this one, folks.
No.
This is a bold ending.
The
Which
problem is,
I was happy about. It's a good twist. Like the good guys didn't win this time.
I'm happy if we get a proper sequel where Gina's actually hunting down.
Which
If
is
there's
what the
some
fourth
redemption
movie is
later
supposed to
on,
be.
then I'm cool. But as a standalone, this is pretty dark. Like, I don't know.
well, it's not like as you brought up. This thing's practically unbeatable right now. So
For all we know, right?
Yeah, and
I mean, because in the second movie, they found out the only way they were able to actually like really hurt it is using his own weapons,
yep.
his own spears, his own stars.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only way they knew how to actually like really hurt this.
So there's
thing.
one solution. We got to find Chuck Norris.
Gotta find Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris will get the job done, man. He'll get it done, man. He'll take him out.
I say resurrect Bruce Lee
I was about to say because Bruce
There we
Lee's
go.
already kicked Chuck Norris's ass once.
multiple times.
We
Yeah,
don't
I-
need a creeper. We don't
I
need
know, but
Creeper Lee
well,
showing
Chuck's still alive, so we gotta.
We don't need Creeper Lee showing Chuck Norris who's the real boss.
I'm pretty sure we can find the Necronomicon somewhere, Summon Cthulhu, if that's possible.
We gotta find. We gotta
Possible.
bury him in the Return of the Living Dead, like a graveyard, and the acid rain come
or
down.
get the Sanderson witches in a rated R movie.
Oh, you know, I was you know what I was thinking? Like, your guys' next one should be is the only horror movie that Chuck Norris ever did was when he was a detective and had to deal with some demon, and they
I
had to
didn't
go to
even know
Jerusalem.
yeah. Find the name of that and let us know.
I
man.
will be happy to because I literally
Chuck Norris in a horror movie sounds like my
Right.
It was the
my
only-
two favorite things ever.
It was the
so.
only horror movie he actually ever done, and
I never even heard of
He
this.
was just a detective.
I've never even
Really? Huh? I know I wasn't that high, but
You probably were.
All right, we got our categories coming up.
Yep. So best performance,
Easy.
Jonathan Brett.
No, I'm going Gina Phillips. I think she's way beyond a lot of horror actresses I've seen in horror movies. Not horror actresses as in their horrors, but actresses in horror movies.
see,
I think she emotes a lot to me. I think she does a great job.
See, that's a hard one for me because all of them were really dumb. like you had Gina was a smart one just for like the first portion,
Then she got stupid.
and then she got stupid, and then Derry was the dumb one, and then he just for some reason had to get smarter.
But
I'm-
his performance was just hilarious to watch.
It was his facial expression.
Yeah, he kind of went into madness, but with her, I just think she showed a lot of emotion throughout the movie, basically. And
Jonathan Brett was intimidating as the creature.
no, but I felt like she was his sister.
You know,
She
to be
showed
fair,
she showed so much concern that I bought that.
That's fair. I actually agree with Vic then on that one because it's true. She did show like it did seem like they were really relatives. Like they were they
and
really were brothers.
as dumb as she got, I mean, she was willing to sacrifice her own life at that
Yeah.
point. So
All right. Well, worst performance.
the
Sorry,
psychic. No, well, okay.
Justin Long.
All right, I'm gonna go with the psychic because I hate psychics in horror movies, and she looked. The most famous psychic back then was Miss Cleo, and this looks like a Miss Cleo ripoff. So
That's true. I will have to say Justin Long. Horror movies isn't his thing. I feel like him being in this type of movie, his facial expressions was terrible.
he
Being
it doesn't it
showing-
feel like he's better as like almost like comedic relief.
Yes.
yes, he
Like,
is.
let him be sarcastic
like,
and stuff.
You know, you watch him in Dodgeball, and he plays
Or
like
the breakup.
or the breakup, or was it Mac and Marie make a porno?
Yeah.
However that name.
I think this was probably one of his first
Jay and
movies.
Silent Bob reboot.
So this is probably before he found his kind of his rhythm because
It was.
he's not someone that you are sympathetic towards per se.
Yeah.
He seems like more of a snappy, sarcastic person, so it's hard to be like that sympathetic towards him.
Well, on top, I think this was also to be, Justin Long is probably like his first go around in an actual movie. Because what movie have you seen him in before Jeepers Creepers?
No, this was 2001. This is like when he was really young in this.
Yeah.
So I think this.
That's what I'm thinking. Then he started getting cast in all the sort of supporting comedic relief roles.
Yeah, where he's a main character, because Accepted was a funny movie and he was the main character for Accepted. Again, it was a comedy though.
Yep.
You know, and then you got Dodgeball. He was one of the main characters.
Yeah, it's just like what I said about Monica Keena in Friday vs. Jason.
Me-
She's mainly for comedy.
Me and Nick, we've seen this all the time, basically, where it's like a known actor, actress, and we like them, but it's like their first movie is their horror movie. Like, what's her face, Rooney in the Nightmare on Elm Street remake?
Rooney Mara.
Rooney Mara.
Well, it wasn't her first movie, last I checked.
But I'm saying it was early in her career. Emma Roberts in Scream 4, like everything she's done since then, but doesn't work for me in Scream 4. It's because like the horror movies always, when their first movies, they use the horror movie to get into it, but then afterwards
All right.
they go on to better things. So
Best scene. I'm going to have to go with the cat lady scene, no matter how stupid it is.
for me, if we could make that first like 10, 15 minutes, like one, if we count that as one scene, everything up until stopping point when he follows them after they've seen the body in the church. Everything up to that point is just cool, mysterious, different. That whole first 15 minutes, I'm just gonna say.
I will say the ending. The ending would probably be my favorite scene to me, because it's not your typical ending for a horror movie. The good guys didn't win this time. The bad guy won, and just the fact that when the song was playing, it was like the best suspense in my opinion of the song playing, and he comes up in between the eyelids where
The Jeepers Creepers song finally makes sense when you see those missing eyes.
And then the ending, just where it matches up, where he comes up, where did you get those eyes? And they're, you know,
it's a bleak ending. It's not
it's
hopeless.
Yeah,
so.
it's not your typical horror movie ending where the good guys usually always win. This time they didn't win. They lost royally, anally.
Wow.
Gotta go with that sexual reference.
Yes.
What else did the creeper do to Justin Long before taking his eyes
The
out?
dude literally probably gets.
He was screaming.
He was screaming. Who knows? The dude probably gets very lonely in 23 years. So
Yeah.
Something
true.
tells me we're all going to kind of agree on the worst scene, but for me, police station. The entire police station scene.
Oh man. See, for me, it's crazy. For me, like the cat scene is like the worst scene. Like I would skip the cat scene if I could, but yeah, I'm just going with cat scene.
I would like the climax to be not that police station scene where I'm just sitting there like, why the fuck are you shooting at the ceiling?
mine would probably be the police station. Not the police station.
I'm
Sorry.
gonna change my pick of the police station now that I'm thinking about it.
It's just you could have just kept going. Told the cops what they needed here, and just honestly, you shouldn't even have to stop at the police station. You should just kept driving. Just go home. What you injured it, obviously. Just go.
At a certain point in the whole second half of the movie, there should have been someone just saying, "Hey, why don't we just get in the car and just drive until let it kill us in the car, but we're gonna drive and try to make it out of town."
Yeah.
What would you want to explore more? I think you mentioned yours like 500 times.
But yeah, I want a backstory. I want to know where this thing came from. I want to know, what is it doing? Was he human at first, or did he come up from hell, or was he from freaking Cthulhu's realm? I want to know what he is and where did he come from. What's the whole purpose?
He's one of Cthulhu's tentacles.
That'd be weird.
Well, I'm satisfied now that.
I agree. I love H.P. Lovecraft, but I'm kind of confused. But again, I want a backstory. I want to know what he is entirely. What's his purpose besides just eating people? There's obviously a purpose for something, for why he's there.
Survival?
I don't think that's it.
I mean, what's the purpose for a vampire? Survival.
Yeah, the creeper's having too much fun though to be like
Way
it's just
too much
survival.
fun.
So.
Oh, you can still have fun to survive.
And he doesn't even have to operate at night. He obviously can operate during the daytime too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the same thing basically. Just more about the creeper, pretty much. See, I go like basically in my mind, it's like, okay, if you're gonna be like have him like a blank slate, have him be a complete blank slate, right? The second half of the movie, it's true. Once they show him though, it's not as scary. Once they show his face and all that.
I think they should have waited till the ending to actually start.
So
really showing
make it
him.
a complete blank, or don't give us a little bit of info, but then not enough. I'd be happy with a complete blank slate, like he's Michael Myers from the first Halloween, where it's like we don't have any idea about his motivation. But they give us like a crumb, where you're just like, give me more if you're gonna give me the crumb now.
So for me, I'm saying since just looking at the first movie in general without thinking of the others, I'm fine with the amount of info we get of the Creeper because the sequels are supposed to build up the Creeper more, even though they don't.
Bullshit.
I would say number 2 did nothing of a background.
No.
He's just killing kids in the bus.
No, it gets more frustrating with each sequel because you keep expecting that
You would learn at
more
least something.
story, but you've got nothing through 3 movies.
Right. Whenever you do a series, you have to build up the Creeper with his backstory a little bit, like they did with Freddy, not Jason.
Wait, we do find out that Jason's a body hopping
Demon Slug?
demon slug, so
Oh yeah, well, what? Which one was that? Jason Goes to Hell.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he had this.
And he had a whole family, not just his mom.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, I think in part 6 or 7 we find out they can teleport,
Yeah.
horportation. So
Teleportation.
As much as I love Jason Voorhees, I mean, I'm always gonna be Team Freddy, but still, it's like you kind of made this a little too weird. Now.
no,
All right.
that's too
So,
much.
is there anything you would change within the movie if you had a chance?
Yes, the damn psychic. I would
damn-
just eliminate the psychic. I would have one of the cops know a little bit of information, but I wouldn't have done any of the visions, the have you seen the cats and all that stuff. I would have just eliminated that
Or
altogether.
better yet, there's a better way to explain that. With everything going on now, most likely missing persons are coming up. Have a cop just throw out a throwaway line that says, "Hey, did you notice this happened 23 years ago?"
Exactly.
There you go. I agree with Vic and definitely agree with you. They should have just left out the psychic and noticed that like they have these missing person signs.
By the way, how does the psychic even know the 23 years, 23 days thing? How would that come up in a vision?
Well, I mean, my guess she is
She's-
old. She
or-
is an old woman.
Yeah, so she's probably paying more attention to the
Who knows?
pattern than anyone else.
So the last time you happened, you think she timed out like, hey, it's 23 days.
Yeah, my guess. She probably 23 days. Okay, well, 23 years.
I'm not sure if that should be canon if it's just
But
from her
no.
brain.
As you-
Her theory, so.
As you
Right.
brought up, it's better to have a character that's somewhat already been established instead of one that just pops in at the end.
It's the most laziest writing to have a psychic pop in and give you exposition. So.
Well, to me, just adding a psychic in general when it comes to certain horror movies is just lazy.
A psychic's always a bad. Anybody who can tell the future basically is lazy writing. So.
Yeah. You know, even when they added it in Jeepers Creepers 2.
By the way, if she's gonna be in it, have the creeper kill her. She's at the police station. Why didn't she die?
Because it sniffed her and didn't like her.
That's true. Actually,
That racist bastard?
Yeah, she did. He did sniff her. He
Yeah,
was,
but it's not like he sniffs all the cops. He kills people pretty
because they're
liberally.
shooting at him. To be fair, I mean, I'd kill him too. Like, man, you.
Yeah, but actually, most of his kills are in self-defense.
At this
I think it
point-
would hold up in a court of law. You're right.
Exactly. At this point, I'm defending myself because these bastards are
The,
shooting.
the cat lady did shoot. The cat lady shot at him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Damn.
You know, but he did sniff her, and there was nothing of her
That he wanted.
His sniffing power should have been like, she's a psychic.
She is
She's gonna try to foil my plans. That's enough reason to
Rip
kill
off
her.
her legs.
She smells like old lady.
You've been telling them kids about me.
Telling them, look,
Trying to warn them.
I'd be like, you know what?
be
I
honest-
should thank you because you brought them straight to me. Thank
Yeah, you took
so
'em-
much because you are that fucking dumb.
Yeah, you took him upstairs instead of out that door.
Yeah. Instead of telling them to run, you should have just told them to get in their car and get the fuck out of here. No, you're the dumb bitch to tell them to just keep running upstairs.
Which is
Thank you.
the
I'm
worst,
hungry.
the worst psychic ever. Jesus.
All right, so
Final thoughts?
final thoughts. Be honest with you, characters could definitely be could either be more likable, could be less stupid. The atmosphere is actually extremely good, but the creeper, as everyone has mentioned, does lose the intensity the minute you see his face. Because you know now it's a physical being more so than what we've been seeing. We know what we're up against to an extent. And,
An alien.
yeah,
So
Cthulhu tentacle.
From the dark multiverse.
The music honestly could have been better, but still added to the atmosphere. And the kills, well, I think the only good kill in it was the cop getting his head chopped off and then his tongue ripped out. So I'm going to give this movie honestly a 2. It's fine to watch when you have nothing else, but it's probably not one you're going to put in over Freddy vs. Jason. And I hate that fucking movie.
whoa. I did not expect you to say that. So.
I don't know. I would say I personally.
Let me preface because you
yeah,
haven't
yeah.
been on the podcast before. Nick is always the tough grader.
tough grade, yeah.
He's if he likes the movie at all, he's going 2 stars, which makes no sense. But he's like, no, I'm gonna lean towards 2 stars.
Oh, come on.
1.5.
Nightmare on Elm Street got 3.5.
Like if a
from
movie's
me.
borderline, he's always gonna lean to. I'm gonna go with the lower one.
Wait, which Nightmare on Elm Street?
The first.
Like, the very first one?
Yes.
Why?
Why not?
That must be his favorite movie because never has he gone back to that 3.5
no.
stars.
So what is
Nightmare on
it?
Elm Street 3 too.
So was it is a rate from one
One
to
to
5?
four.
One
No,
to
it's
four.
it's 1 to 4.
Okay.
You can do half stars.
Oh, okay.
I think we've only maybe those are the only like the only few of the only movies we've done given 3.5 stars to.
So far. Because I think even Wes Craven's New Nightmare, I gave it 3.
But we haven't done that many classic movies.
Right.
Most of the movies we've done have been kind of like bad movies, pretty
Yeah.
much. So,
Problem is, I can't seem.
but
to...
his go-to is 2 stars though. He gives everything 2 stars. Like
Not true.
he's like set on 2 stars. So.
That's not true. I gave Freddy vs. Jason a 1.5, and I gave the remake to Nightmare on Elm Street a 0.5.
I should have not. I regret it. I was gonna give Hocus Pocus 2 stars, and I went with 2.5. But I should have been like, 2 stars. But damn it.
Well, I might as well give my rating too. I want to give. I want to say a 2.5. It's as horrible as
Bandwagon.
No, as horrible as it can be with a lot of things that's been going on with the movie, especially with the director. I still find it as a good cult classic. It's still an interesting watch. You know, it's still something that, yeah, you can pick and, nitpick everything that's been going on that's wrong with the movie, but you still keep interest in it. It still makes you want to know, like, what's happening, what's going to happen next. Just take out the sidekick.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do 2.5 stars also because of course it's not a flawless movie. There's flaws in it.
Yeah.
But I just love that first 40 minutes. To me, the first 40 minutes up until you see the creeper's face, I'm like having a great time with the movie. Then the last 30, 40 minutes kind of is a big letdown. But I do like the characters.
Yeah.
I think it has 2 strong main characters, better so than most horror movies have.
Right.
By not having like 10 teens where you have a big body count, they can just focus on the 2 characters. So I do think it has 2 of the better main characters in horror
Exactly.
movies, and that holds the movie up for me. But if the second half of the movie was as good as the first half, this would be maybe 3 stars, maybe even 3.5 stars. A lot of potential, but did reach the potential. 2.5 stars for me. So much better than the sequels, though. So,
But yeah, I agree though. It's a good cult classic, first, and it's not your typical horror movie where there's a bunch of people, bunch of teenagers having a little gangbang, and then
it's original.
it's original.
It gets points for
It's an
originality.
original idea, and I think that's another fair point to bring a 2.5 at least.
And with that being said, everyone, y'all don't have to go home, but you got to get the fuck off this podcast or watch the other episodes. That's fine too.
But do not watch the sequels. No.
Yeah, no, because just why would you waste your time?
And if you're driving down the road and a big ass truck comes behind you,
With the license plate that says "be eating you."
Just pull the fuck over and just let it pass you.
just find the closest McDonald's because you're gonna die anyways. You might as well die with some chicken nuggets in your hands.
Right.
All the chicken nuggets.
Honey mustard too.
I would say
Hot mustard.
I would say Chick-fil-A, but that could be Sunday, so you don't want.
It's harder to find a Chick-fil-A. So
It really-
on a lonely road, you may have a better chance of finding McDonald's. Maybe.
And everyone remember, hot mustard and barbecue and buffalo.
I'm pretty sure there's a Walmart there somewhere anyway, so
All right, so long.
Get the fuck out of here.